as of now, probably Cyprus is one of the top destinations for game industry worldwide.
Wow. How did we get there?
We were the first to make deals with Tencent, Microsoft, Krafton, Ubisoft.
Welcoming Gem Capital, a powerhouse in gaming investments. We're joined by Roman and Kirill from their leadership team.
I would not say that we expect that level of success. Anyone would tell me like 5 years ago that, look, Elon Musk will tweet about the game you invested in.
I remember my mom telling me, stop wasting your time with that shit. And now we see e-gamers winning world competition and making millions.
Premium market is dead. Single player is dead. So now everything gonna be free-to-play multiplayer. But years passed, and still some of the most grossing games are single-player premium games.
Basically, we don't feel like, so this is my job, this is my free time.
Yeah.
It's always our free time.
How did you manage to turn your passion in gaming to actual work?
Like the real answer is
Hello. Welcome to another episode of Made in Cyprus, big business story from a tiny island. And I am actually really looking forward to this episode for a number of reasons. Number one, it's going to have money in it. Well, we all like money, why not? Number two, it has game in it. So money and game, it's a good combination. A combination my mom never believed into it specifically. And number two is that these two guys, they came to the world together, they went to school together, they went to work together, and now they are the managing directors of Gem Capital, which is a VC firm based in Cyprus, out of Paphos specifically focused on gaming investing. So please help me welcome on the show Kirill and Roman Gurskiy from Gem Capital. Hello, boys.
hey,
Hello.
how you doing?
Yeah. Thank you so much for inviting us. We are big fans, so let's do something together. Maybe play games.
Maybe play games.
Maybe earn money.
My number one question before we go exactly into what you guys do you still game? Do you still play?
We do a lot, by the way.
Do you only play in the what you invest, or?
All our life is games, basically. But you're right, we try to put it in different stories, like playing games as a game, as gamers, when we just enjoy games, and some based now investments and job,
professional gaming.
Professional gaming. Let's put it like casual gaming, professional gaming.
Yeah,
amazing.
I would say mostly that's professional parts, unfortunately. So from the very childhood up to now, it's like our major source of fun was and still is games.
Yeah.
So I play to give the easy example. I play games each day. Yeah. So it's like starting from 9 p.m. once my wife and my son they go upstairs and
it's my time.
Yes, finally it's my time. Finally it's my time. So and what I do, I play games.
Amazing. Did you fell out in love with gaming somehow, or is still something a passion of yours? Because the chef will get bored of cooking, the writer will get bored of writing, the pilot will get bored of driving. Did you get a bit bored of gaming?
I don't think so. Speaking about for myself, I don't feel that I'm tired of gaming.
And that's as for the examples you shared. A lot of actions are quite repetitive, right? In driving, right. And as for the games, all games they're kind of played differently. So you don't really feel like if we would play the very same game from day to day, that would be like that.
But that's almost like a game testing.
Yeah. And if one day you will have on your podcast some kind of cyber sport athlete. That's what they do, because they are what they basically do. They play the same game each day, each week, And we're happy to have opportunity to play a number of.
Funny thing that Roman mentioned, playing the same game, but actually Roman and I, our top one game that we play most is League of Legends. Have you heard of League of Legends?
Yeah.
Right. So we are playing League since the end of season 1.
Yeah.
So you can imagine. So we're so far playing League for more many years. So more than 14, 15, more than 10 years definitely, right?
Wow.
And we still play. And we still play League. We have like our small team. It's called Rainbow Ponies of Vengeance. No reason at all to call it this way. The only reason it's fun. The only reason. And it's our team with our school friends.
Amazing.
Right? So we know each other for like more than 30 years. Oh, 25 years definitely. And we still play.
Yeah.
So now we play not that much, but we still try to play at least once
once a week. Yeah.
Because everyone has children now.
Yeah.
So, like Roman mentioned, the personal time is quite not that big, but still.
Funny thing is that we're not, a big team. Yeah, we're actually just a team of 5. So that's the minimum required to play a game together. And this year I became that. And our bot lane, like the bot lanes where 2 players play together, they are married, right? And they also became parents. And as of now, it's almost impossible to get together.
Yeah, it's true.
Small break from the episode for something really important. If you are in Cyprus and like me, like Factory 39 and like this show, the Made in Cyprus podcast, dream to build the future of Cyprus, to rebrand Cyprus into something more, into truly something small but mighty, I want you to check out the Cyprus Diaspora Forum. From May the 7th to May the 10th, there will be amazing international speakers, keynoters, workshoppers. We will bring together the whole community of the people shaping the future of this island. The Cyprus Diaspora Forum, check it out, and please do help us build the future of Cyprus. Back to the show. But it's interesting because then gaming and playing becomes much more than just entertainment, right? Yeah. It's almost like glue that keeps people together. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and not everybody knows that, but the whole games industry is like the largest entertainment industry.
Yeah,
so it's much bigger than cinema, than music industry. Wow. So that's number
combined,
one. And that's combined. Bigger than the one combined. Yeah.
It's incredible. And before we go into the numbers, because I know once we get into what Gem Capital specifically does, we can look into the number, we can look into Cyprus as well. I have a brother. Yeah. Okay, we are not twins brothers, so maybe that's the key difference. I can imagine myself working with him for about 35 minutes before getting violent. You not only came into the world together, you studied together, you worked together before at EY, correct?
Yeah,
and then you went into Gem.
Yeah.
Tell me this dynamic. Help us understand, because it's very interesting, very curious.
Yeah, it's all the same, by the way. So I can stand Robert for like 30 minutes.
We have another 37 minutes of the episode.
Yeah, we have 37. So we'll fight in like 30 minutes to go. Yeah, of course, I'm joking. Basically, from what we've seen, there are 2 types of twins. And by the way, we're identical twins. Right, so identical twins know only one kind of twins, identical. Yeah. Others are not real twins. So
those are second tier.
Yeah, so they're second tier.
The good kind.
Yeah, we're the good kind. And from what we've seen, there are 2 types. Like one twins just hate each other, right? So they go different ways, like almost different. So like one is musician, the other is like finance guy, right? Or it happens that you like each other. So we are like closer to the guys who like each other.
Yeah.
Why it happened, I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, still, to be honest, working together sometimes might be hard because, and I would not say that's like some twins problem. Yeah, it's like any cousin relative problem. It's like when you work together, you are much less forgiving to the person you work to.
Yeah,
because
it's true.
When you have just professional relations and like imagine me working with my associate, I can just like I must be very, very specific, no emotions. Yeah, so I mean some emotions, but I would never say like, what's the hell, like what the fuck are you doing, idiot, and so on. And imagine you working with your relative, your brother, and so on. So you are unforgiving. Yeah, so it's like any mistake you will point it out, you will scream, you will so and that's the thing in our relations as well.
It's true.
Yeah. Of course. So through the years we learned how to do with it. Yes, and the major answer to that is that we basically split our projects. Yeah, so I mean, there are no particular reason for both of us being involved at the same level in each of our investments, right? So there is always like 50-50 split. So there are some companies where I manage investments. There are some companies where Kirill does that. So it's not like we're working on the same specific tasks together on day-to-day basis. So anyway, it's more like, some decision making, of course, together. Some investment approvals, of course, together. But day-to-day, sometimes we're lucky to. And by the way, we're sitting in separate rooms.
Yeah, so there is some separation.
Yeah. And all these common things that Roman mentioned, they all fit in 30 minutes.
Yeah. Short sprints of collaboration and then off to your own ways. Yeah, very interesting. And tell me, how did you manage to turn your passion in gaming into actual work? Because at EY you weren't into gaming, right? If I'm correct.
Yes. No. Absolutely right. You're correct. Precisely so. So the real answer is like it happened by chance.
Yes.
So it just happened, right? Yeah. So we at EY we digged deeper in some IT stuff, etc. But games industry was just evolving at the time when we joined EY, right? Yeah. So we joined EY right after university. And at that time, games industry, it was like evolving, right? And like when we joined GEM, we started to just considering, are there any overlooked industries? And we looked at like all this analytical stuff. I won't go into too much unnecessary deep details, but basically we found out that games at that time were overlooked, right? So industry is huge, as Roman mentioned, great talents, people do great stuff, and still at that time there were not that many investors like focused on games.
Yeah, and it would be nice, to mention that for quite some time, GEM was a generalist investor. So it was not from the very time of founding of GEM Capital, it was specifically investing in games. It was in a lot of industries. So we considered some nanomaterials investments and even cannabis investments in the US. So there are a number of different industries. Yeah, and at some point in time, we just started to receive a lot of pitch decks from game studios. And we just questioned ourselves, why is that? I mean, why a lot of game companies, they're trying to raise from us while we are not really a games-focused investor. Yeah. So after a number of pitches, we just tried to dig deeper and found out that there are not so many games-focused funds. And I would say that's a fair statement as of now as well. So there are maybe 20 that invest actively worldwide. Not so many. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we made our very first investments, and I can say we were really successful with those. So maybe lucky, right? And after that, we started to double down on investment segments. Yes.
It's interesting. What would you say is the main difference then, quote unquote, traditional investment, or at least investment that someone, most of us can understand, and gaming then?
So there are a couple, and very cool question. So firstly, let's put it this way. If we just compare generalist funds with games funds are obviously more focused, right? And we know that well, since, as Roman mentioned, we started as generalist fund.
Yeah.
As a generalist fund, just imagine, you receive a pitch deck, and it can be anything, almost anything. Yeah. I don't know, some fishing stuff deep in the ocean. Yeah. I don't know, some huge technologies that just put aircraft into space.
Yeah.
And each time you need to understand the industry from scratch. right? So you know nothing about like nanomaterials. You know nothing.
Yeah.
You know nothing about like medical cannabis in the US. You know nothing, and you just say, okay, let's just study. So what companies are, what's the size of the market, etc., etc., etc. And
of course you hire some consultants in
Yeah,
each of
yeah,
the
yeah,
industries.
all
but
the
I mean,
usual stuff.
Anyway, you need to be aware yourself. As a
Yeah,
master
all
manager.
I can think of with this journey is the amount of time spent into something that might not actually go anywhere.
Absolutely. So transactional costs are very large. In games, when you have specialization, its transactional costs are obviously lower. So in games, we can say in 5 minutes, looking at the deck, if it's no. So if it's no, we can say, no. So that's bad idea. What you guys are doing, the market doesn't need it, etc., etc. If there is something, we need more time to say yes. But to say no, it's very fast.
You need 5 minutes. Why? Because you grew up into gaming.
Yeah, because we know the industry, because we know like the genres, we know the competitive landscape, we know where industry is heading, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
So probably that's thing number one, right? Secondly, the upside and downside protection. So in general venture, it's quite often either a unicorn or failure, like write-off of investments. In games, it's the games investments are more protected. In a sense, like let's assume you made a game, the game will sell and earn you at least something, right? You can sell like, I don't know, if it's a PC console game, like 10,000 people can buy your game. Like obviously it's a failure. Obviously it's a very low number, but still you can earn at least something.
You
right?
will make up some.
Yeah. Some money you can get back, but upside potential is lower than in a general venture, right? Because for a game studio to be valued like $1 billion, you need to be like CD Projekt Red, like Krafton, like some very large.
Extremely successful.
Yeah, you need to be like really huge, right?
Are there unicorns into
Yes.
A lot, of course.
Yeah. Of course, but there are not so many compared to some like general venture industries, and like deep tech, like anything like
Absolutely.
that. So there may be like tens of those.
Yeah.
But and it's important to mention when I mention these, I talk games studios. Of course, there are like games related stuff, like I don't know, some social platforms for gamers, etc., etc., etc. That are like closer to general venture, right? And we also do invest in this stuff.
Yeah.
But this stuff, it's like pure general venture. So it's either unicorn and like only sky's the limit, or complete write-off.
Yeah, it's software almost in that case.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So
And as for the like some other differences between general venture and games venture is that especially at early stages, investment in games is much less data driven. Because in a general venture, you would always look into like what are the figures, like what market share can I get, like and so on, who the competitors are, and so on. As for the games industry, a lot of judgment is required. So you need to really say like, I mean, will that game earn money or not? Yes, and it's not something that you can always back with some figures, right?
Yeah.
Because you need to be aware of like what the gamers want.
Yeah.
So it's like and not being in the industry and not like having like looking at the number of pitches, not playing games. It's just impossible to say. That's like even in the movies industry. It might be easier because a lot of people, they do watch TV series. Like, I mean, in terms of like the number of viewers, it's much higher. Yeah, and it's much easier to have your own judgment.
Yeah.
In games, it's really hard, and hard to justify by like pure numbers.
By logic. Yeah.
Yes.
It's fascinating, and one of the third thing that comes into mind because games are a lot about emotions as well, right? So there's the emotional connection with the game. And if I think about it, Minecraft will be one of the most successful games ever. And
it is.
if you look it on paper,
Yeah.
like
It's
back,
like-
if you take me 10 years back, let's say, and you gave me Minecraft and let's say this is gonna be revolutionary, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Precisely.
Right?
Yeah, yes. So you got it very right. So, and Minecraft example is very cool one. Once we talk with general VC guys, like for example, Yanis from 33 East.
Yeah,
You interviewed
yeah,
the guy.
yeah.
So we talked to games with him, and he said, "Why? Look, guys, when I talk to games founders, it always sounds like elfish." For me, so because they say, "Oh, look, there is this game, this game, this game, and we're making something in between." But if you're not a gamer, like you won't get it, right?
Yeah.
So, for example, he tells you like it's Roblox, Minecraft, and I'm mentioning some very well-known titles,
Yeah.
and imagine like some very indie references
Yeah.
that like not that many people know.
Yeah.
So that's very very cool.
It's interesting. It's always like I think you guys are super lucky because you went through life university as
Yes,
gamers
yes.
and all that knowledge that I'm pretty like I remember my mom telling me stop wasting your time with that shit, it's not gonna take you anywhere, stop playing, and now we see e-gamers winning world competition and making millions and so much money into the industry as well, but also yourself, you manage to connect passion with work, which is it's so
It's fun.
priceless.
Yeah.
It's so priceless.
Yeah, precisely. So again, we feel as very happy guys,
Yeah.
right? Because we love what we do.
Yeah.
And basically we don't feel like so this is my job, this is my like free time.
Yeah.
It's always our free time.
Yeah.
And it's much easier to justify to your wife, like why.
Why do you have the console in your hand? What are you doing with the joystick? I'm working.
I'm working.
Yeah, but you're playing this game for 10 years now.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to research. I'm trying to figure
Some
out
long-term
how we
market
missed
research.
opportunity.
Yeah.
I love it. I want to dive into something that you said about gaming investment being less logical, less number driven.
At early stages.
At least it sounds hard though, then, right? So you need to have the gut. So help me understand how you make those decisions as well, because emotion can trick us.
Absolutely. So the judgment is always involved.
Yeah.
But get us right, there are a lot of numbers that you still analyze.
Yeah.
Right? Just the final decision depends on this like pure feeling.
Yeah.
For example, if we are talking mobile games industry, it's all data driven. There are like specific platforms, including one of our investments called AppMagic. It's like Bloomberg or Capital IQ for games. You just log in, you can see all the data for all the game in the universe.
Is
You
this
can see
open
the-
source data?
Yeah. It's, you can. It's available to anyone, right? And you just log in. You see all this data, and so guys are pitching you some idea that they're doing something in this genre, and you just compare metrics, what guys are doing with the industry average metrics, and you have like quite a lot of data, right? The same applies to in PC console. This amount of data is a bit lower, right? Because basically PC market is Steam, like to simplify things, and Steam doesn't disclose a lot of data, right? But still there are like some analytical agencies, sites that provides some data, right?
Interesting.
And you can compare, for example, guys are pitching you, look, Martin, we're doing like the mix of It Takes Two and I don't know, Roblox, something like this. So you can just compare the numbers and you still get some data. Like we're not like gamblers, right? So we always make educated decisions, right? Educated means that they're based on data driven.
Yeah.
But still, like the final decision, it always depends on if you believe that this game, like to simplify, will be fun. Right. So and there are a lot of cases on the market, like when some guys pitched something to us, we refused to invest, and then some other guys invested in these guys.
Yeah.
And there are some cases when we perfectly understand why they invested.
Yeah.
Because like we understand the team is good, we believe in numbers, but like this final decision, like secret sauce, I don't know how to put it. We said, okay, well, guys, sorry, just we don't believe, and someone believed, right? So it's a bit tricky.
Yeah, it's a bit magic, it's a bit science.
Yeah. Very good, but very good reference. Yeah, a
Yeah.
bit magic, a bit science. Yeah.
Interesting. So let's go back a bit into gaming as its purest form. Like because maybe a lot of listeners. We have CEOs, we have founders that maybe they used to be gamers or they don't game anymore. Take us back, guys, into a chronology of what happened into gaming. I don't know. Let's see, from Tetris into where are we now? What were those foundational elements, changes, foundational titles, for example?
Again, very cool question.
Yeah, it's all started many years ago, and it started with like some physical machines where you had to just insert some coin and so on and play, and after that gradually evolved to where we are, right?
Yeah.
As for the major milestones, I would say of course that's first consoles release initially, then
So Atari, Nintendo.
Yeah. And as of now, I mean, some of those companies you mentioned, including Atari, they're still alive.
Yeah.
Nintendo.
Yes, Nintendo is alive and strong.
Yeah. They did well as following up and updating.
They just recently announced Nintendo 2, Nintendo Switch 2.
And it's first 2D graphics, right?
Yeah.
Games like Prince of Persia. Yeah, then 3D, then it's moved to VR, AR, and so on. So, I mean, as of now, it's all about AI, right? So, and
Another major milestone is of course like the emergence of mobile games.
Yeah.
Right, because for many years it was purely like consoles, PC, and then mobile games market evolved.
Yeah.
Right, and now
together
mobile,
with the iPhone.
Yeah, together with iPhone and stuff. Right, and like everyone has like mobile phone. Right, so everyone
can have a console now in his hands.
And for this reason, for you to better understand, like mobile games market is the same as PC and console combined together. Yeah. So it's the largest. It's the largest. It's the largest as of now. So that's another important milestone.
And starting from the very launch of iPhone, mobile games market was like the one where everyone wanted to invest. Right? Specifically, the majority, I might even say all the games-focused funds, they were always mobile only.
Yeah.
So invested, they were like staying away from PC and console for a number of reasons. And the funny thing is that just maybe 1 year ago, it changed. So as of now, more and more funds, investors, they're starting to invest in PC and console as well.
Yeah.
And maybe even PC and console receives more love than mobile.
Is it because mobile is became very saturated then as a space?
Not only. The major reason is this whole security thing that's called IDFA, that's like launched by iOS. What's that? I mean, you might have noticed, you have an iPhone, right?
Yeah.
That's 2 years ago, it started to ask you whether you want to share your personal data.
Yeah.
And the majority of people, they say
no.
So when you are being asked this question, of course, you would never say yes, I want to share my data.
Yeah.
And this whole thing, it significantly limited the availability of marketing data for mobile games. So initially it was like you could see anything in mobile games.
Yeah.
So once I'm just saying it in the easy way here. Once your game attracted some players, at the time they came in your game, you already knew everything about them. I mean, not of course like name and surname, no personal data, but who they are, like, and so on. And now it's impossible. So as of now, mobile market struggles because they need to somehow solve this whole IDFA issue, and they need to find new ways to promote their games. And a funny thing is that, even if I ask you like what marketing is, a lot of people would say like that marketing is like movie style marketing, where people they just prepare some trailers, they make press conferences where actors promote the game and so on. So, and that's the marketing in PC and console segments, right? The major parts. As for the mobile game markets, it was never like that. Mobile's game marketing was all about figures. It's like we invest this money into like some banners on Facebook and see what's the amounts of people who click on the banner, how they transfer into.
So
like,
very data driven.
Yeah, very data driven. It was never about like this marketing in general understanding with like press conferences and so on.
And now it all broke
Yeah.
with the introduction of this IDFA thing by Apple, and now it's a major challenge for mobile games industry. Because now guys and everyone is solving for like new ways of attraction users with including this old-fashioned marketing. Let's put it this way. And that's one of the reasons why such a great number of collaborations with stars evolved in the past like 2 years, like Kylie Jenner and like these match 3 games, etc., etc. Why? Because they're trying to attract users using classical marketing.
Yeah. But even games now are doing voiceover of famous people casting. I saw Keanu Reeves going into that, like the
Cyberpunk.
From Cyberpunk. Then the guy that created Metal Gear Solid,
Kojima.
Yeah, that he also casted the other guy. Lots of people. You know, it's interesting this crossover between movie culture, pop cultures, and game. The lines are becoming very blurred.
Yes, exactly.
Precisely. We believe that games are basically new Marvel. The reason very simple. Like for decades, the major trend in entertainment was superheroes.
Yeah.
Right. So we all went to cinemas watching Marvel movies. Right?
And then there was a game of it.
Yes.
And then like
I would
after Avengers
not
2,
even just not even just going to the theaters. It was also like all the kids were playing
the toys and
based on Avengers and so on. And as of now, the major trend in pop culture is games. Yeah, so the most popular TV series for the past maybe even 3 years, they are all based on video games, right? That's The Last of Us, Arcane, that's Fallout, Mario movie being like the biggest hit, and so on. So, and as of now, this is something that has been discussed by a lot of people. Yeah, so no one really cares about new Captain America, right? And look into like Arcane, Fallout, all released just last year.
Yeah,
and all of them happened, like the majority of them happened to be outstanding.
Yeah,
so
and almost all in the same time as well, right?
Yeah.
I remember Resident Evil being one of the first ones going from gaming to movie. Mostly shit movies, you know.
Mortal Kombat,
Tomb
Raider.
Also, yeah, they were all bad movies, though, isn't it?
Not all of them were bad, right?
Yeah.
But they were not, this triple A style. That
super produced, very well produced. Yeah, like and Fallout was like wow, just a visual overdose.
And the reasons are probably quite simple because the games industry is the most sophisticated one. Why? Because if you play games, you're just in this game, right? So you are not only the watcher, you're like the direct participant, right? So if you're playing The Last of Us, you can do whatever you want, right? So you're not just watching TV screen and you're not listening to someone telling you the story.
You become you become without of the game. You get into it.
Precisely. And that's why people who play games, they're very dedicated audience, right? And this audience, it's now growing up, right? So it's again very simple because the guys who in their childhood run from school to play games, they're now like the guys with money.
The ones with money, right?
Right? and they want to spend the money.
Yeah.
And so these young people, they're growing up, and the games industry grows up with them.
Yeah.
Right? And that's maybe one of the major reasons why it all happens.
Yeah.
right?
Now these guys are the guys with the bigger portfolio, with the bigger wallet. Sorry, they're able to buy and invest, and the games are becoming way more expensive as well. I remember it used to be 30, 40, 50, 60,
Now it's
70,
80.
Now it's 70,
110,
80,
and
yes.
you're not even holding anything physical. You're just downloading something. So you're giving away €100, and like there isn't anything to touch anymore.
Yeah,
I remember
exactly.
special editions. You had the CDs. You could share
And
them with
special
your
editions
friends.
are now €500.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I wanna dive into in-game purchases. So from the VC point of view, it's money, right?
It's cool.
It's great. From the gamer point of view, they fucking suck. And I give you an example. GTA, so Gran Turismo. The latest one, the 5, right? So they made. I love Gran Turismo, right? So a great car game, one of the greatest simulator.
Gran Turismo or GTA? Most likely GTA.
GT, sorry, yeah. So they beautiful driving simulator. You could buy cars. There was the driving license and everything. But there was always this concept of you win cars, you buy cars, and you sell cars and you make money. They removed it on the last version, and it was really hard to make money. It was impossible to sell cars, and some of the cars were priced in a way that was impossible without purchasing in-money games to buy it. So there was a whole revolution on the first couple of months. The CEO had to apologize. He gave credit back. So there is a thin line between gamifying real money into game money and having in-game purchases, but then also it becomes greedy, right?
It's true. So the main thing is that it needs to be authentic, because mobile games industry is all free to play.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So
the entire mobile games
Yeah.
industry.
So you don't have an upfront investment, and then you pay into the game, right?
Yes.
There are some premium games on mobile, but they
it's
earn
very
nothing.
small market.
It's like
Yeah.
really
Small
small
market.
percent.
And they're still not €80 or €70
Absolutely.
like
and
like
in
Gran
this
Turismo.
in this case, if you are not forced to play, then why not?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
Makes sense.
no one complains about app purchases in mobile games.
Yeah.
So players just pay.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Especially in the US, right?
Yeah.
So the major paying market is the US, obviously. And for the US guys, like $10, $30, even $100 spent in game per month, it's not that much,
Yeah.
right? If we're talking premium games, right? So that's where concerns.
That's my problem. I paid €80 to have the early release of Gran Turismo because I was waiting. It is a game that I loved. I loved it, and then after a couple of hours, I'm like, I cannot do this, I cannot do that, I cannot sell, and I go in Reddit and there are professional GT race drivers that quit. They tweeted. There was like a massive scandal to the point that the CEO had apologized and said, "You're right."
So in this case, that's probably not like the best situation to be, right? So if if it's a premium game, if a player buys this game, then in this case, it's not that justified, right?
Yeah. Funny thing is that the whole free-to-play markets is kind of comparable to, or like what happens now on the market is kind of comparable to this anti-woke culture that happens in like worldwide. Because everyone remembers like one of the top games executives once mentioned that premium market is that, single player is that. So now everything gonna be free-to-play multiplayer. But years passed, and still some of the most grossing games are single-player premium games. And the reason is, as of now, in this exact moment of time, it's like, a lot of players, they are, and that's why I compare it to anti-woke culture. They are tired of just free-to-play only games where you like play for free but have to pay. And very good example as well, like here together this week, the new game from creators of It Takes Two is being launched. And it's funny because
I'm buying it.
Me too.
Thursday.
It's the only game that I play with my girlfriend, which is an absolute nightmare because she doesn't know how to hold the joystick. So if we play for 4 hours, 3 hours and 30 is me waiting for her to do a jump, and then the double
your
jump.
marriage. Good way to test your
The best way to test your marriage and is to play It Takes Two together.
By the way, I think we all played it with our wives.
Yeah. And
I
the
also
funny
played
thing is
with my
that
wife.
I started to play this game with my wife, but I finished it playing with Kirill.
It didn't work out.
So, and why I'm mentioning that, because in this very game, in this whole promotion, the head of the studio, it's like always pointing out that, look, our studio and our games will never be shit. We will never be free to play. We'll never charge anything from you apart from like this first buy to play price, right?
Yeah, I like that.
And that's like, and a lot of players, they love that.
Yeah.
And he receives a lot of positive feedback for that.
Yeah.
So I mean, as of now, this whole, of course, there are and there will be a lot of free to play games, but it's really hard to achieve success with those, especially as for like our business VC. If you ask any investor, what would you choose? Like successful free-to-play games or successful premium game? Yeah. Anyway, would tell you, of course, successful premium game or a successful free-to-play game. And why is that? Because life as game as a service games, free-to-play games, they can be on the market for tens of years.
They're eternal, right?
So you
like
created, imagine Counter-Strike, right? Imagine League of Legends, imagine Fortnite, and so on. So those games, once you are successful enough to pick one of those, it will like earn you money for the rest of your life.
Is the chicken with the golden egg?
Yes. So, and as for the single-player games, that's not the case. So you can invest in Cyberpunk, right? But that's like one really huge success with 20 million copies, but what's after that, right? So you still need to create more games, and those need to be successful.
That expansion pack was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Doctor,
I actually think I almost loved it more than the original.
Same here.
Unfortunately, I haven't
and
played.
the ending is better.
Beautiful.
Now back, and why I am saying that it's really hard to earn money with like a free-to-play PC console game, because as of now, there are almost no examples of a VC-backed success in this very segment, because all the major games they were all created by corporations. The majority of those, especially recent successes. Yeah, of course there are like games like Riot Games, and so on, but that happens many years ago. But as of now, as of like new examples, there are not so many.
So private investment.
Yes, all the major successes, they were corporate backed. Yeah, and still is this.
Like
and
Helldivers, I think you've heard of Helldivers, like the finals made by Nexon. So they all made by some huge corporations, right?
They're not VC backed. And why is that? Why this like competition is so tough? Because all the multiplayer games, they compete with each other, and it's not like in the same genre. No one cares about genre. They all compete together.
They all compete for the attention of the gamers. So it doesn't matter about the genre.
And why is that? Because the average gamer plays like maybe one, maybe two multiplayer games, and he plays all the premium releases. Yeah, and that's like the usual player.
For example, Roman and I, we play League of Legends, and let's assume we love Fortnite. We just don't have enough time. Right, so you either play, and some can play 2, some can play 3, but still like 4, like no one plays 4.
It's usually like some guys just playing either like League of Legends or Dota or Counter-Strike and that's it. That's his life, and of course he buys and plays all the major releases of the year.
Guys, tell me more about your Cyprus story exactly, and more precisely, how are we doing island-wise on the game scene?
Great. So basically, Ireland is doing great. As of now, probably Cyprus is one of the top destinations for game industry worldwide.
Wow. How did we get that? How did we manage that?
It's very simple. One, of the reasons is that, like, historically, a great number of games companies evolved here, right? There are a number of reasons, like the sea, the taxes, etc., the ease of accommodation, the ease of getting visas, permits, etc., and of course it all also like accumulated after the war.
Yeah.
Because a great number of companies from Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, they all relocated quite a few people here.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
So
like one of the major destinations.
yeah. And as of now, like the Cyprus is like Cyprus, and maybe like in Europe, Cyprus is definitely number one, right?
For gaming, yeah.
Yeah. You can just walk the street in Limassol where we're shooting, and just ask some guys looking like IT guys, "What are you doing?" He will say,
Most
"Games."
likely games.
Most likely, he will say, "I'm doing games."
Wow.
Right?
There are more games meetups in Cyprus than like anywhere.
Yeah.
It's like some meetup is happening each week.
Wow.
Yeah, and just maybe like Wargaming, the
Yeah, of
guys who
course.
made like they're based in Nicosia, like they have huge office there. They're like, and they're PC console, and everyone like the general public knows cool PC console.
Yeah.
But there are also huge number of mobile game studios, which are even can be even more successful, right? And these guys, again, huge number of companies in Cyprus.
But
The density is insane.
I would say on not so bright side is that the Cyprus is not cheap. Yes, that's true.
Not anymore. I think it's
Not
going
anymore.
crazy.
Not
It's going
anymore.
crazy.
Not
Yeah.
anymore. And probably that's like one of the reasons is that a lot of educated stuff being like moving here and so on.
Relocated, yeah.
Yeah, relocated. Yeah. But a lot of companies, they do have like top management and some senior specialists here, and some like lower cost specialists somewhere like in more cost effective destinations.
Makes totally sense,
Yeah.
because I think IT and software development salaries in Cyprus are becoming
Crazy.
absolutely crazy.
Crazy.
Because of the forex industry, because of the payment industry, because of the iGaming industry, where the salaries are very, very inflated. And even here at Factory 39, it's always a conversation that it's very challenging for Cypriot founders that are doing tech and doing technology to hire in Cyprus. That's the reality.
Yeah.
That's one of the major challenges.
Yeah,
right?
is the prices. And tell me more a bit about Gem. I know you guys, when we started together, you have these 50 millions that you're trying to invest. Tell me a bit more about where you are, what you're looking for, and tell me about your successes as well. A few titles.
Sure. So basically, currently, Gem has around 100 million assets under management. So they're spread across Gem 1, Gem 2, almost equally, just to simplify things. So we started investing out of Gem 1 in 2019.
Yeah.
And Gem 1 is currently fully deployed, right? And we announced Gem 2 at the end of 2023, I think. Right? So, and as of now, like approximately like 40% invested, and so still 60% to go. And we're still quite actively looking for new opportunities.
So you're
in
currently
games.
looking for new
Yeah,
game
and we do a lot of investments. So just last year there were a number of ratings that are published worldwide for games investors, and we reached like one of them put us first place.
Wow.
Worldwide, and another put us like top 5. I don't remember exactly. Top 4 or something.
It's brilliant, and I think in Cyprus we don't talk enough about the gaming industry, right? And the fact that one of the most active gaming VC is actually out of Cyprus is a testament to the power of the industry.
Yeah, and everyone. By the way, everyone in the world knows that Cyprus is well known for games industry.
It's probably because
so
that's not like in the industry everyone knows that. So it's like if someone sees like some European company, they might even assume less, like their first guess might be that
must be Cypriot.
That's
So that's very, very, very usual stuff. And speaking about like our like successes, etc. Like apart from all these ratings and boring stuff. So we invested, to give you a couple of examples of our investments. We invested in Monfish. That was one of our first investments. So we made it in 2019. So these guys made a game called Atomic Heart. And it was released in 2023, and it was the biggest independent release of that year.
Wow!
Right, so all the others were made by some huge corporations.
That's a PC console AAA game. So.
Yeah, so Elon Musk tweeted about this game like it's one of the top grossing games in the world of that year, etc., etc. So it's very well. It's reached like top 5 on Pornhub and all the other. So that's the real testament, the real achievement.
Mom, look, we made it. We're on Pornhub.
One of the real achievements. And this company attracted funding from Tencent. Tencent is the largest games investor in the world. It's from China. It has like capitalization of multi-billion.
Wow!
dollars.
And did you expect that type of success?
Yeah, we did. Obviously, we did.
I mean, of course we expect successes from all of our portfolio companies. I would not say that we expect that level of success, to be honest. Of course, it's not like if anyone would tell me like 5 years ago when we invested that, look, Elon Musk will tweet about the game we invested in. All that's the game will win Steam Awards for outstanding visual style. It's like, I mean, I would say no. Of course, we expected success. Maybe not that level of success.
Yeah.
We also have Eschatology Entertainment. So again, these guys are based in Limassol, and they have a lot of people in Ukraine. So these guys attracted funding from Krafton. Krafton is the largest Korean games corporation.
Creators of PUBG.
The creators of PUBG.
Wow.
Again, one multi-billion dollar corporation. So again, it's a huge success.
Yeah.
This deal was one of the largest in games industry of last year, of 2024.
Also,
again, huge success.
One of our portfolio company, it's called Unfrozen. They are working on the next Heroes of Might and Magic games. Heroes of Might and Magic is like legendary series, and there was no such game like in many years, and it was announced just last year at Gamescom, and it was one of the biggest announcements of the entire conference.
Yeah, and again, Frozen based in Cyprus.
Yes.
So there are a lot of guys that you like. Probably you've heard of Heroes of Might and Magic, right? But I guess you never knew that the guys making next Heroes of Might and Magic are based in Cyprus.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so that's like really interesting thing to know for a gamer, right? Which is outside of games industry. And we have many more. So one of our portfolio companies, Setcat, they're working on a game called Replaced, and it's in the top of Steam wish lists. So it's like 60 top 50,
60.
top 50,
So that's
60.
a safe bet, isn't it? People are already looking for it, so you know that you
So
will
again
you will cash out.
That's amazing, right?
Yeah.
So that's huge achievement, right?
Yeah.
We also mentioned App Magic, so that's the mobile service
Tracking
of
software.
analytics.
Analytic tool.
That's second in the world. So it's second in the world doing this stuff.
Amazing.
Right? Again, so that's huge success. And we have many more. So
we just, we're really lucky because we are the ones who were the first to make deals with Tencent, Microsoft, Krafton, Ubisoft with our portfolio companies. There are not so many companies that achieved that.
That's amazing, guys. Congratulations.
Thank
and
you.
I think
Thank
Cyprus is lucky to have you. Where can people reach out to you in case there are good developers or gaming studios that are looking for investment and help? What's the best challenge to reach out to you guys?
So there are a number of ways. One, obviously, is just contact me, Roman, or someone from our team on LinkedIn, or through site. So on our site, on our website, we have just apply for funding, and we receive daily around 30 pitches.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
daily.
right.
So you have a schedule every day that you start your day reading.
Yeah, we
reading
just
the pitches?
we just go
We don't
through all
do
of them.
it daily, so it's like weekly.
Yeah.
We do it weekly.
Amazing.
Because
guys,
it's really hard.
guys, thank you very much for
Thank you, Martin.
coming.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time, and see you next time.
Thank you.
See you
It was
next
a pleasure.
time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, talk to someone, share it to someone, text it, fax it, email it, do whatever. Please do support Made in Cyprus podcast. I remind that we are non-profit. Our purpose is to help build and shape the brand of Cyprus. So you supporting us means a lot. Guys, Up to next time. See you next time. Ciao, ciao.
See you.
See you. Woo!